to another podcast. We are two friends in fiber coming to you from the Canadian prairies in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where we didn't have the January freeze, so Jocelyn is very confused. It's episode 149, Diana tells me, and it's always good if I spit that out as quickly as possible, because I'll forget. We are recording later in the week than usual because everybody needs a Sunday break every once in a while, and Diana has been running around like a crazy person, so I was like, nah, I'll see you Tuesday. It would have been, nah, I'll see you Monday, but you burlesque dance Monday nights.
This is true.
So that wasn't going to work. So here we are, Tuesday evening. It's, what, 8 o'clock?
Something like that.
And I'm drinking coffee. What could possibly go wrong?
I've not had any coffee today, so many things are going to go wrong.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm Jocelyn. My co-host is
Diana.
And we occasionally actually get to the yarn part of the knitting podcast. Diana, do you want to let everybody know what we're going to try to cover this week?
We've got What's in Our Cup, Cool Threads, Woolly Workings, Spinning Yarns, Yarn on the Go, Wool Gathering, and Kniterature.
Sweet. Jumpin' Jehoshaphat's. What's in our cup, right?
Yes.
I am double fisting it.
You're drinking coffee.
I am in my Knit City mug from the... Oh man, it's after 8 on a weekday. I'm holding up the photo. Internet's yelling at me. I know these ladies. I'm friends with them.
Cozy up knits.
Thank you. Drinking some International Delight iced mocha coffee. Right? Did I get all the words out?
I think so.
It's pre-made iced coffee in like a juice jug or a milk carton container. And it's mocha flavored. And the only thing in here I'm not supposed to have is the dairy. Tastes great. So long as I'm not having it like back-to-back, day in, day out.
Alright.
I'll be fine. And I'm not eating like tons of other dairy. Just looking at Diana like, no full cup of this and then a whole-on Italian dinner. Like that would be bad. That would be a dumb Jocelyn option.
Well, good thing we had vegan mac and cheese.
We had the healthiest mac and cheese I've ever had in my whole life for dinner.
We had mac and cheese out of a box, but it was vegan, dairy-free mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're super healthy.
With a salad and slices of French bread.
Yeah, I think we did all right. I think we adulted okay.
Isabella would be so disappointed in our food options, my niece. Other thing I'm drinking at it is ginger ale, so if you hear a pop bottle opening and closing, that's because it is my favorite comfort bubble drink, and I have to talk about the dentist visit, so I needed my comfort blanket. What are you drinking? Because you bought some sort of weird...
I bought an apple cider vinegar drink with cold pressed ginger.
What?
So apple cider vinegar is supposed to be a healthy thing to drink in small quantities. Obviously don't just chug straight apple cider vinegar. They've made a drink out of it with ginger, and I figured that might help me not get totally sick when everyone in my office is taking turns getting sick. I don't know. It's alright. They must have put a heck of a lot of sugar in here because you barely taste the vinegar, which is mildly alarming. But it's alright. It's drinkable. Don't necessarily recommend it, but it's alright. It's a drink.
No, thank you. No, I'm not a vinegar fan. I use vinegar in recipes. I hate the smell of it.
This is not a drink for you then.
Nope, not for me. That's okay. I bought some apple cider.
Just regular apple cider, not the vinegar?
I bought regular apple cider. Well, you saw me. It's sweet cider.
This is true.
Sweet apple cider. It's made with apples and cane sugar.
And nothing else.
It's an ingredients list I can get behind, people.
There are apples in this.
It's also not 4 liters worth. Which my mom bought when they were visiting, because we were like, hey, me and mom in the house for, 7 days. We can go through 4 liters of apple cider with family coming and going. Completely forgot about it. 4 liters is a lot to drink on your own.
Yeah.
I needed help. So I employed all of my people finding skills to help rescue me for this. Basically, I stood in the backyard and chatted with the neighbors and said, Mom, I left me with 4 liters of apple cider. They helped.
Oh, good.
They took one for the team.
Excellent.
And we stood in our backyards and chatted. That's what you do.
Yeah.
We got good neighbors, so it works well. All right. What have we been wearing this week? I've been wearing my usual suspects. Literally, if This is the first time watching. This is the first time hearing it. If you've been watching us since we started doing the Hey It's Cold We're Wearing our fiber things again, it's the same things I've been wearing all winter. Diana now has the Diana mitts, so I can't wear them right now. So it has been my Comfort Fade cardi. It's because somebody finished a Comfort Fade cardi and I was talking with them on Instagram about it. My Mallow cardigan, my Find Your Fade, and I've started wearing the Goldfish Memories by Casa de Pinka that I made last year. It's just a really freaking nice shawl that turned into a beautiful scarf given my size. It wraps really well. Just a beautiful pattern. And the Sarah Hare Don't Care hat, which strangely enough matches the Goldfish Memories because it's done in pinks, reds, and whites, and the Sarah Hare Don't Care is done in Midnight Cravings Juice Box, which is pink.
Yeah, that would be a cute pairing.
With my white winter coat, once I have those gray mittens back.
Oh yeah.
I'll be rocking color coordination without even intending it.
Perfect.
Sweet. Cool. That's it for me. That's just my usual suspects.
Today, right now, in fact.
On your head.
On
it was
my head.
on my head if you watched the intro.
Yeah. I finished my Totally Tubular hat last time, live on the podcast, but I actually wove in the ends, and I had attached the
Live on
pom-pom.
the podcast, we record.
Live, yes, it's live. You know what? It was live.
We are not live.
It's totally
People who
live.
join us for Patreon will tell you this is not live.
We're so
I swear a lot more in person.
Anyway, I had even attached the pom-pom. It's on a button, so that you just stick the button through the hole in the top. So when I selected this button, I had just finished the hat, and so the hole at the top was nice and tight. And so it stayed on perfectly and was great. And then I wore it out, and as you know, when you wear things, they stretch slightly and relax. And so now the hole at the top of the hat is the same size as the button, and this is kind of a slippery button, so the pom-pom just falls off. So I need to get a bigger button, and then it will be attached to the hat. Because I really think this hat looks so much better with a pom-pom. But this is my Totally Tubular hat that I finished. I am in fact calling it the Totally Tubular hat because that is the name of the yarn. Also, I did a tubular cast on and knit a tube and cinched it closed to make a hat. If you would like the pattern, such as it is, it's on my project page that will be linked in the show notes.
Any of you hearing that tone of recrimination, that's directed at me.
Somebody doesn't like to make project pages.
Someone is just gonna start offering to pay Asa to make her project pages for her.
Oh, I cannot wear this. This hat is definitely a toque.
And
very
we'll know
very
once
firm hat.
Asa's watched this week's episode if I get a tweet going, sure.
This is such a stiff hat. Like, it's just
I
perched on my
really
hand.
want to make one of those.
Anyway, it's super fun, super quick. I think the whole thing took maybe 5 or 6 hours, so you can totally do it in a weekend. In a day, if you're that determined.
Well, I could do it in a day, but
yeah.
I really want to make one. How much was that yarn? Well, you got it on sale. It's probably
Yeah, it
like
was-
$9 or $10.
No, I think it was like 6.
$6?
Yeah.
Maybe I can find $6 in a week or two. Oh, I know what I can do. Because I was going to pull out money because we were going to go do the Asian food market this coming month.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll see if we can do that and pick
Sure.
up all of Totally. I also haven't been to my local yarn store to pick up replacement needles that I didn't pay anything to get. I'm gonna go call them. I was supposed to go this week, and that did not happen. I called him and said, 4 hours of sleep is not enough. I'm going back to bed.
Yeah, okay.
Was not enough sleep.
It's not enough sleep.
Oh.
The other thing that I'm wearing currently and have been this week is my Find Your Fade shawl. Gosh, that blue looks good on camera. My goodness. It looks good in person, but it looks really good on
It
camera.
looks amazing on camera. It looks really good in person, too.
Like my 5 different travel colors. No, sorry, my 4 different travel colors and my 1 home color.
Yeah.
So that's...
I keep thinking I want to redo the Find Your Fade, but I want to do it in gray tone, like grayscale.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
See, I like mine with all these colors because I was trying to pick an outfit today, and I'm like, okay, I got these gray jeans, and then my black sweater, and then it's gray, and it's gray, and it's black, and it's gray, and it's like, I gotta inject some color into this. Like, I don't even have colored t-shirts. Like, I have a light blue t-shirt, and that's the most colored shirt I own.
Did you see the tweet your husband posted about his love of beige?
I know, I'm not that bad.
There's a photo. It's nothing but beige clothing.
I know.
I love the man dearly, but he is a little beige friendly. A little beige. So is his brother. They're a little
I
beige
convinced
friendly.
him to buy a green plaid shirt. He looks so good in it. It is my favorite shirt of
He
his.
looks stunning in green.
He looks so good in green.
So good.
Can I get him to wear that shirt ever?
No.
Heck no. But
Heck
I love
no.
that shirt on
It
him
looks
so much.
Yeah, probably looks amazing on him.
It looks
Same
so
way as
good.
his brother looks absolutely beautiful in deep blues. Yeah. Can we convince them to wear it? No.
No, because that's
No.
each other's colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I look really good in reds and purples. Guess what colors I wear, people? I wear strong, bold colors. That's what I look good in. I gotta get more pumpkin orange into my life because that's also another color I wear really well. That pumpkin spice color.
Yeah.
That looks really good on my skin tone. So it's like, I need to start doing that too.
I realized as I'm trying to inject color into my gray, I have gray jeans on and a black sweater.
You need more colored shawls in your life.
Yeah, well, I have not one, but 2 shelves crammed full of brightly colored shawls. So, hey, inject color.
Whereas I'm thinking I want to get some fingering weight cotton, do the Find Your Fade in grayscale, and then wear it with my summer dresses, which are, Diana can tell you, absolutely
bright.
nothing but bold patterns and bright colors. I believe in the 70s paisley print when it comes to dresses. And it looks, well, I'm tall enough to carry off a larger print, so I wear a larger print. I'm comfortable in larger prints, but I like having that because I think that with like a really big dramatic grayscale shawl would be amazing in the spring and summer.
It would. I agree.
I need to do that. Making plans, people. I don't have time. I'll find the time.
The only other thing I've been wearing this week, aside from wool socks, because 'tis the season, although really every season is the season for wool socks, in my opinion. On this, we agree to disagree.
Yes.
But I have also been wearing my Katie hat this week, because
Oh,
sludgy
it's a good
hats. Bringing it back to knitting.
Yeah.
What are we
Sorry,
working on?
guys. I got distracted.
As usual, you have more things. I have all of...
When don't I have things?
Hey, but I've got spinning, so...
I do not have spinning.
So I got a whole segment to myself in a minute.
It'll be the Diana show. I'm in the middle of the row, so why don't I put down what I'm working on and we'll talk about the Copen baby blanket, which has no pattern. This is the part that drives Diana nuts about me.
No project pages.
No
doesn't
project
use a
pages,
pattern.
no
So
pattern.
I can't even link to that. It's just baby blanket in the show notes with no links, no pictures. I'm sorry, audio listeners. This is what I have to work with.
The internet's gonna start yelling at me.
At least make an Instagram post or something.
I do.
Oh yeah, you do, right.
I do Instagram post
Okay.
these things. People.
Okay.
I just don't do anything else. Mind you, I'm going to take that one with Phaedra sleeping on the baby blanket, so it is cat approved.
Good.
With her napping that I posted in the Knit Messenger chat the other day.
That was a
I'm
cute
gonna post that this week. So I got good friends of mine. They're beautiful, beautiful human beings are having their first baby. And oh man, I mean, Mrs. Copen, I'm already gonna nominate you for sainthood. I know your husband. I'm friends with your husband. I'm playing 40K with your husband next week. No, week after. I could not have a child with that man. I would kill him. I love him to bits. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I need a nap after I've spent too much time with Copen. He's more energy than I can handle.
That's saying something.
It's saying a lot. He's a delightful, delightful man. And he's always willing to help rescue me, which is beautiful. So when I heard they were having a baby, and they went public telling people baby, which by the way was a super cute video, because they announced it to the family and they recorded it, so you got mom and dad's reaction faces.
Aww.
It was so good, because it said it, and it just went. I think I remember which parent it was. It was like, what? And then that beautiful high score. I was like, yes, so much yes. That's just a great way of doing it. I've seen some really cute baby announcement photos and videos in my lifetime, people. I am an auntie to many small humans. I'm an auntie to some humans who will be 18 soon.
Goodness.
Oh my god, I'm old.
That's terrifying.
So I made a car seat baby blanket. There is no pattern. So please follow these instructions. Buy 2 cakes of variegated yarn in a size 4 worsted that you like. I used acrylic because I know how busy babies are. And blankets should be washable in my mind and dryable in my mind.
Babies are very full of fluids. They leak sometimes.
They're germy. I love them, and they're sticky, and they're germy, and I don't want one of my own. And I will make things for this small human when he gets bigger, or she gets bigger, because they're not going to find out till the baby's born. They wouldn't be surprised. When it is larger, my own niece got acrylic till just this year. She's now getting actual knit stuff from real yarn. because she's now of an age where she's not constantly sticky. Though she's been taking my maple syrup a lot to make maple syrup candy in the backyard or in the front yard and clean snow. May have overestimated the sticky phase for this one.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I wear acrylic. I like acrylic. I also like natural fibers. So you do you. If you want to wash and hang dry, or you live somewhere where you can do that year round and you're okay with that, go for it. I have never met a new mom who said I have oodles of free time. I've never met one.
I think that's a thing that new moms have.
In my mind, they don't. I've seen many a new mom and they never have time. So what I did in this particular case is I picked up 2 self-striping balls of Bernat Pop in their colorway Snow Queen, because it had all the colors. It had purple, it had pink, it had white, it had yellow, it had blue, it had green. So we had all the bright, cheerful colors, because little people like bright colors. I don't blame them. I like bright colors. And I crocheted on a size 5.5 millimeter hook 5 rounds of granny squares. I made a 5-round granny square, and I kept making 5-round granny squares till I ran out of those 2 balls of Bernat Pop. Which, by the way, makes what do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 4x5 baby blanket.
Perfect.
And then I crocheted them together using some gray. Stayed with acrylic because it seemed crazy to switch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a connect as you go crochet technique, which I saw Stranded Dyeworks podcast. She'd followed a tutorial by Bella Coco, so I followed the tutorial by Bella Coco. Bella Coco. And I watched that. She's got great tutorial videos. And I put this together. And then I literally did 2 rounds of double crochet on the outside edge. That's it. That's the whole pattern. Want to make it bigger? Crochet more squares out of variegated yarn. Combine it together. I used a gray to sort of mellow out these colors because on their own they were brighter before I put the gray border on.
Yeah.
So we're great. We're a perfect car size. I'm going to weave in the ends, give it a wash. I wove in the ends on my squares before I connected them. Who am I?
You're very organized.
It's 2020. It's the year of the Jocelyn who weaves and ends as she goes.
Whoa.
So I have
Crazy new world.
I have one end, the end of my round, one end to weave in, and then I'm gonna give it a wash and a dry, and the first of the baby presents for Baby Copen is done. Yes, the crochet dinosaur sweater's up next.
Perfect.
That I might make out of real yarn just because I can. Real yarn. All yarn's real. I might make it out of a natural fiber. I haven't decided yet. I don't know. Listen, I'm also the kind of aunt that when my niece was 2 and still in the sticky phase, I bought her an entirely white fur coat. I thought my sister was gonna kill me. I also bought drum sets. I don't have to be the serious parent. That's not my job.
Heck no, you're the fun aunt.
You've been warned if you have children. I warned Terry. If you have kids, so much impractical presents come from me. It's not even funny.
I'm really happy being the fun aunt, the favorite human. I'm totally okay with the aunt title. Not looking to change that anytime.
Yeah. Oh, it's my favorite title. Of all the adult titles I've ever held, Auntie's my favorite.
I feel like aunt is the good. It's like you get to do all the fun stuff. It's like grandma. You get to do all the fun stuff, and then
Auntie gets hugs from 14-year-old girls at New Year's Eve parties when nobody else gets hugs when she goes home.
Ah,
super cool auntie right here.
I hope I still get hugs when they're 14.
I wasn't expecting one because she was just saying, bye to all the rest of the adults that she knew, but then she figured out I was headed home with one of them because they were my ride. She came racing down the stairs, had to give me a hug before I left. Can we go outside? He's like, sure, you get a hug. I'm like, I'm prettier. No hugs for you, only hugs for me. But that is my FO for the week. Because last week it was granny squares, this week it's a blanket. Done. Less than 2 weeks. Baby stuff is small.
It is.
And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm still going to make that dinosaur sweater for like a 1-year-old, I think. I really want them to be able to wear it and use it. The only question I have is I think I'll do the body in gray, but what color do I make the spikes?
Like green's the traditional color, but yellow's also a fun color.
I could do yellow. I have yellow. I got green. Heck, I could make them polka dotted. I could make them variegated. I could... Ooh, variegated.
Variegated.
There we go. I'm going to be some sort of marled variegated dinosaur spiking running down this.
Absolutely.
I think that's perfect.
That's awesome.
All right, I got to keep talking, I guess.
Yeah, I have two things, I'm afraid.
So let's keep talking about Granny Crochet Squares.
Absolutely.
Because nothing says knitting podcast like crochet.
We're more of a fiber arts podcast.
At this point, yeah. We do a lot of stuff. So I did this crazy thing. It was like the first year we were podcasting.
I think so, actually.
It was called the 365-day challenge. I crocheted a granny square every day for a whole year.
You did too.
I did all 365 days.
Yeah,
I followed Yarn Utopia's videos because she has a beautifully rhythmic tutorial system. Like when you get into the flow of what she's saying and what she's doing, you can just, it's just so nice to follow along. She's also an absolute delight. What did they did? Halloween costumes this year because she just had a baby with her partner. They dressed up as characters from Where the Wild Things Are. Just so freaking cute. And she's got amazing crochet tutorials and stuff. But I followed her because Terry had this great idea that we were going to learn to crochet granny squares. And me and Diana went, okay.
So I think
as we do.
I got to 60 or 70.
I think Terry had to stop before then or just after.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. So it was me by myself for most of the year. Which was, it was the year we started podcasting because it was the same year I had the abdominal surgery. So when they say their life was busy and they had it hard, I just kind of look at them and they go, never mind. I'm like, that's right.
That was also the year I learned about SEO, search engine optimization, and how that works with Google.
Yep.
Because we had to link to Red Heart every single episode for the entire year.
So it was almost 52 episodes of Red Heart linkage. Guys, guess which yarn I used?
So yeah, we were like the third result when you Googled Red Heart for a while there. After like 8 months of that. Guess what? SEO, that works.
It works great, guys, because math. So I have very slowly been working my way through 365 squares. It's a lot of squares to store. It's a lot of squares to work with. I've made blankets, like quick blankets for family and stuff. And these are the last 3 bags. This is it. This is the last of them. The last of them. I filled 2 totes worth, 2 big liter totes worth of granny squares by the time I was done this project.
Yeah, okay.
We've got some that turned out a bit bigger, so they have their own bag. This is kind of like extra large squares. We've got some that just turned out smaller, just because of the nature of the square. Just how it was done, like this little sunflower square. Just a little smaller. So they're in a separate bag, because I'll have to upsize them to fit in with the medium squares, which is the biggest one, since obviously most of them came out about the same size all the time. I used, she's going to end up linking it again, Red Heart soft yarn for the entire project. Because they don't do, or like their dye lots are fairly indistinguishable from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Which meant I didn't have to try to buy a yarn's worth of crocheted granny square colors in one go. I could just buy colors as I needed them. So when we came close to Valentine's Day, I could find the red and whites. When we were close to Halloween, I could find the blacks and oranges. When we were at Christmas, I could find the blues and Christmas reds and stuff. So it worked perfect for me, and it was great. And I am going to be trying to upscale the little ones into the medium-sized ones to do a blanket, and then what's ever left over with the medium into the large for another blanket. So theoretically, I have 2 more scrappy blankets I can get done real quick.
I should call out my squares to make a blanket.
Yeah, you've got enough.
We definitely have enough.
And combining them is actually quite easy and quick. So, and then I have, because I had started the process, but I changed how I became a convert to the crochet together as you go. Because my God, that was easy. So I undid all the stuff I'd been working on. Wrapped myself up a big ball. For the life of me, I had no idea where my gray Red Heart soft big ball had gone. Guess what? It was in the project bag.
Whoa, almost like you're organized.
You did the same thing the other week.
Yeah, I did. Totally did.
And this is beautiful charcoal gray. So I'm going to finish at least one blanket with the charcoal gray. And then as I was looking at squares and stuff, because they're great for testing out patterns, like seeing if what stitches you like, what stitches you don't like, because you're not committing to like this huge project. This is a wee little thing. One of the ones that was Christmas themed was the snowflake one.
It's so cute.
And I really remember enjoying making this pattern. And I really have a mother who loves the snowflakes and blue and white. So I feel like I need to secure myself a bunch of blue and white and make her a snowflake blanket.
I like this plan very much.
Because I can just start crocheting the squares. And what I'll do is I'll take a look at this is hexagon shaped. 2, 4, it's 6-sided, guys, whatever that is. The only one I can remember is octagon because that's got 8.
Hexagon has 6.
Hexagon has 6.
Yeah.
Guys, we were discussing this in the car. You need me to budget. You need me to do basic real world math. That is the mathematics I graduated high school with. I failed calculus and physics and pre-calc so bad my math teachers made me promise never to take it again in any level of any education whatsoever. But you need someone to budget a trip? Yeah, I can do that in my sleep. That math I get. So I'm going to take a look and measure out this dimensions here because I'll use a size 4 worsted weight yarn. And my tension, what is not tension, it's not the word, stitch gauge hasn't really changed in crochet. It's very consistent, I've found. So year in, year out for the, 3 years I've been crocheting. When I crochet now versus when I crocheted when I started, there isn't really any sort of discernible stitch definition difference or gauge difference. So I have a very steady tension, which is lovely. And I will make a whole bunch of these squares, I think, and then crochet them or sew them together for my mom for a blanket. Because I think it'll make a really nice couch blanket for her couch at Christmas time. You know, I think in my mind I want to make this and do this literally 2 months after she said she wants to start getting rid of stuff and doesn't want more things. Because that's how that works.
Yeah.
Right. Those were the big things. I was sort of ripping apart and prepping the granny squares to work on. So I have, and finish the baby blanket. I have two more projects. They are knitting. So I'm going to let Diana talk for a moment.
All right. The thing that I'm working on as we speak. Well, let's start with my half-finished object.
Yeah.
It's got fluff on it. 1 second.
Uh-oh. It's fluffed.
Half-finished object. In that I have one of a pair of things. It is a mitten. The mittens of doom. The cursed mittens that I started making for my brother in August. Yes, those mittens.
Oh man, I'd forgotten it's been that long.
Oh, I looked it up.
Oh no.
It's been that long.
Oh dear.
So I finally finished a mitten. Hey, and it's all like Kitchener closed, and I even wove in the ends. I didn't have scissors on me at the time, so all my ends are still on the inside and they need trim. But they're woven in, and everything's just slightly too big on my hand, which is great because my brother has slightly bigger hands. Anyway, it looks great. I'm really happy with how this turned out. And so now I'm working on the cuff of the second mitten. Yay!
Well, you've learned a lot from the first mitten, so the second mitten, in theory, should be easier.
In theory, it should be.
Here's hoping theory holds out.
So,
that's a little bit excited for those.
This is mysterious, probably German sock yarn that I can't properly pronounce the name of.
Oh yes, because it used to be a pair of socks he was learning to knit on.
Yes, he'd bought this yarn for himself, and then I spent an afternoon trying to teach him to knit socks, and he was doing all right. And then, as a lot of us do when we're learning new things, just didn't keep at it, and
long enough for it to stick.
Yeah. Which totally get. He's a very busy university student, so he's doing his master's now.
In piano?
Yeah, collaborative piano. He uses all sorts of big fancy words that I don't know what they mean, and I imagine it's what he hears when I talk computery things.
And imagine it's probably what you hear when I talk at you about history and I kind of go a little off the deep end.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, he's very, very good at what he does.
He is very good at what he does. You've played some concert clips for me.
Anyway, the point of this very long story was that he was going to knit socks, and then the socks didn't happen, and then he didn't want socks anymore, he wanted mittens. So I'm making him mittens.
Well, seems fair.
And they're the sort of mittens that can go inside other mittens. Should that be your desired thing. He lives in Toronto right now while he's going to school, so I don't think he's really going to need to put them inside other mittens, but when he comes back home to visit at Christmas, he'll definitely need the second layer of mittens.
That is potentially a true story.
Yeah, it was like 10 above around Christmas in Toronto this year.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
Oof. She's very excited to become an Ontario liver, guys.
Yeah.
She's looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to never experiencing -30 again. Which is a lie, because I'll experience it when I come back to visit at Christmas.
I'm like, you're going to be coming home in the middle of winter.
Yes, it's not that I will never experience it again, it's just I won't have to go about my normal daily stuff while experiencing it. I can go, brr, it's cold, and stay inside.
That is so not going to work when you're visiting.
I will whimper about it, and I won't care.
Yeah.
That anybody else is like, psh, whatever, and I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Little southern Ontario flower now.
Yeah.
Can't handle the winter.
Yeah. You're still going to have to get in the car and visit me when you come back to the province.
I know. Did I tell you I got pajamas recently? It says, I don't do winter.
Well, you don't do winter,
I
so
don't
the
do
pajamas are actually quite accurate.
So I don't do winter.
I still like your, was it penguins on that ugly Christmas sweater you had? Is it just chilling or something?
Oh, yeah. Chilling with my snowmies.
Chilling with my snowmies. I wish I fit things like that, because that is so something I would wear. This is so something I would wear. I would not fit it. Which I find delightful. Alright, do we want to start with the not painful story or the painful story? I'm assuming you got one more thing after this?
I got one more thing after this.
Okay. Do we do the sweater first? Talk about the socks last?
Whichever way you want to do it.
We're going to talk about the sweater first because I'm currently working on my row. Guys, this is the final increase row. I double checked. I did the math. All the stitches are right on track, which means it is ready to connect in the round. Woohoo! So, what I need to do is I need to read the next page of instructions for splitting for the shoulders and starting working on the body, because I want to make sure I do it right. And then I need to sit and think about it really carefully, because when I knit in the round, I knit inside out. And I don't want that weird ridge thing happening. So, this is the Flax Light by Tin Can Knits, and I'm knitting for my niece. I'm doing it in what I like to affectionately call electric pink and highlighter yellows, because the bottom half of the sweater I'm going to stripe in a highlighter yellow, green, pink, variegated yarn. Can you tell where she gets her love of bright colors from? So I am in the middle of the front here. I had a just enormous amount of trouble with this sweater when I was working on it in the round initially ad nauseum. Guys, if you've watched the podcast, you know what I'm talking about. There's this beautiful little shoulder detail, and I kept mucking it up something fierce. I have this random artisanal hole that's not supposed to be there. Whatever. Happens in my socks every once in a while too. I just fix it afterwards. So the shoulder detail actually looks proper.
Woo!
My increases look great on one side. They're kind of loosey-goosey on the other side.
Yeah, but that's the inside, so it doesn't matter.
And it is on the inside, and I figure once I've washed it and blocked it, if it doesn't bloom out quite super closed, I'll just go in with scrap leftovers and just sew it up so that it's a bit of a neater thing. That's just me doing my increases kind of funny. That's not the yarn's fault, that's really me. The super rib that never works out quite right for Jocelyn, and now we know why. Figured that part out. So once I'm done to the end of this, I will be done my increases on this round here that I'm working on. I will double check to make sure that I have written down all of my keynotes for myself properly so that I don't mess this up. And then I should be able to split for my sleeves, connect the body. I'm going to do probably about 20 some odd rows of the body so that I've got a nice sturdy like little section to work from under the armpits.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do my sleeves first. So once I've got underneath the body, the way I've got it going, I'm going to weigh out what's left of my yarn and do the math for 2 half sleeves and body piece, so that I'm using up the right amount of pink and starting to fade into the yellow at the right point. My other thought had been to do it where I faded into the pink on the sleeves, and then just had the color, the highlighter color, come up higher, like come up to the elbow.
Okay.
Even though it might not be coming in till lower on the body. But I have not asked the niece on what visual look she would like to go for in her sweater. So we will sit down and discuss it, because she does have opinions about these sorts of things. I like it in some sweaters where the color in the body starts lower, but you get higher up the arms.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really kind of nifty. Or you have the separate colored arms, and then you just get the color of the arms just at the bottom of the sweater.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I like it when it's like you get that flow and it's an even flow from top to bottom. It just depends on what I'm looking for in the color combinations. So I got to take it upstairs and I got to talk to the teenager.
It's very important.
See what her opinion is. It's her sweater. I want her to enjoy it and wear it. I am using Manos del Aero Gray yarn. This will be her very first real yarn sweater. When she tells her friends, when they see it, they come downstairs and they ask what it is. She goes, that's her real yarn sweater. She's supposed to bring it to Annie Jocelyn to wash. As I stressed it, this sweater had to come downstairs for me to wash.
Yes.
It was not to be washed in with our regular clothes. While it is a super wash, it's not to be washed with the regular clothes. And then I told her how much it cost in yarn and then how many hours it was going to take me to make and how much I should be paid per hour. So she knows exactly how much the sweater should cost. The sweater should come down just fine.
Yeah.
I also get her white unicorn hood. She bought at Icon one year. She saves up to go to the anime convention with me.
Mm-hmm.
And she bought the, you can get the animal hat. And it's got the really long scarf that's got the pockets in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, she bought a unicorn one. All white fake fur with gold horn. Ears and pink insides. Guess who washes that with their white coat every year? This human. This human does the 13-year-old's laundry. I don't mind. I am quite accustomed to caring for all in over white clothing. It's still white, by the way. She's had it 2 years now.
That's impressive.
Kid does well. She also probably forgets she has it, I think. Whatever. When you're 13, if it's not a thing you're passionate about, do you remember it? No. It's not how being a teenager works.
Pretty sure that's just how memory is. If it wasn't significant to you, you don't remember it?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Let's discuss the sock.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with the sock. The sock is going fine. We fixed the heel. I did a proper heel this time. I did not mess up awfully and then drop stitches. The heel went great. And I did it Monday night. And then I did what I normally do with my heels. Guys, I also don't have sock patterns. Do you want Jocelyn's sock pattern? Cast on 12 stitches. Increase toe to toe covers pinky. Then knit body. Do whatever short row toe up heel you like.
Step 1, make socks. Step 2, weave in ends.
Weave in ends. There is no pattern for this, guys. It is my sock recipe. It took me a while to find it. I'm happy with it. I enjoy it. I like self-strapping yarn. I like nice basic socks. I am a boring human being. Will I try patterns at one point? Maybe. I don't know. I keep putting them on my list. I have a Make 9 that's knee-high ones that are color work. So, I think that'll be quite fun. I'm going to buy the yarn for that shortly. So, I did a garter stitch heel, which has become my new go-to favorite heel because it just gives you an extra bit of squishy. And I'm really loving that extra bit of squishy when I'm walking, because when you walk for 2 hours a day, most days, I didn't today because I got a ride to the grocery store, so that last hour or so walking didn't happen. Super lazy day. Only walked for an hour today. Yeah, I'll have to exercise. I won't, but you know what I mean. I did this on Monday. My tiny little, very triangular thing. This little triangular foot heel fits my heel really well. The extra squishy is beautiful padding, given how much I walk, and for me is excellent. I like it better than the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and I like that heel.
I might have to try that heel.
It's just a really nice heel for walking. I really like it. It's very quickly become my go-to. So what I did is once I was done my heel, I took out a big clover clippy thing.
Clippy stitch marker?
That's the word I'm looking for. And because it doesn't do any damage to the sock, I clover stitched my sock heel closed.
So it's not sticking out and flapping
everywhere? It's not sticking out, it's not flapping everywhere, it's not being a nuisance, it's tucked inside the sock where it's not going to be a pain in the butt. And then I did 2 or 3 rounds just because it kind of looks funny right after the heel till you do 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Just looks a little weird. Made sure my sides were cinched up pretty tight, and then I took it to the dentist.
And this is where the story gets interesting.
And I did 4 fingers worth of knitting while I was at the dentist, essentially. I only knit while I am in the dentist chair. I was in the dentist chair for 2 hours. 2 hours.
It is too long.
I had to have my mouth refrozen. And like the beautifully graceful grown-up I was, I cried. Full out bawled. We had to give me a couple minutes to calm down. I was not having it. I was not happy. I had literally the day before watched a 4-year-old give blood without wincing. Here I am at the dentist office crying like I'm a toddler. Like, really? I was done. It wasn't the most complicated thing I've ever had done, but there's not a lot of room where we were working. And I've discovered a thing I hate even more than the freezing needles. And I knew when he refroze my mouth, he was putting that back in there. I was not having it. Not having it. And then I felt bad because I didn't want to like offend my dentist because it's not his fault. I was more mad at my teeth than I was at anything else. It's my teeth's fault that I was in here having to do this. And I have one more dentist appointment to go. Oh my god. I hope to god it's not another 2 hours. For the record, this is to repair one front tooth that I had problems with last May. If you guys are long-time watchers, you realize you know that one of my front teeth literally snapped, and part of it fell out. Just
Teeth are they just don't want to stay in your head.
they really don't. They're under a lot of pressure, so it's like it happens sometimes. It's not the end of the world. It's usually quite a quick permanent fix. It's about an hour in the chair, and you get a permanent filling put around the remainder of what's left of your tooth.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't sure if it was going to be super permanent, but we'll try the $300 fix before we do the $1,000+ fix.
Yeah.
Because if it works, sweet. If it doesn't, like we tried, and it's less invasive. Didn't work, so I had to spend an hour and a half getting a fiberglass post and a fake filling put in around the tooth. Then I had to go get that filed down and get prepped for a crown. That was the 2-hour trip. I currently have a fake crown on my tooth. And then next Tuesday, my real crown will be in. They're custom made and color matched. There was an opinion set of 4 going on. People I had no idea who they were, staring at my mouth. Color matching my tooth. Which is great, because all told, it'll be just over $2,000 to have this one tooth repaired.
Oh,
Doesn't that suck? Doesn't that suck?
Feeling really good about my one wisdom tooth extraction right now.
I have had more. I had all 4 of my wisdom teeth were impacted, and I had to go under for dental surgery, and it was less annoying to me than this one tooth is. So this has been not fun. On the bright side, I've gotten through a lot of sock. The downside, I couldn't knit on the. I'm like literally, I'm a third of the way down the foot. Like I'm a third of the way down my leg. Because I knit the leg to here, and then I do the cuff.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. So I did like what 4 inches of knitting in the round. Frozen. I got compliments. Like all the ladies stop in now to see my sock progress and compliment me on what I'm working on because I'm obviously not looking. I'm in the dentist chair. My eyes are closed. I don't have my glasses on. They have those super sexy orange glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not looking at my knitting, just knitting. I'm also allowed to listen to my audiobooks and stuff to help keep me calm so we prevent panic attacks. So it's kind of a really good dentist. It's just a really long session. It's not. It was done. I called my mom. She was like, okay, we're going to go buy some chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm going to go home. I'm take a nap. Like, yeah, 'cause I'm being ridiculous. The socks I'm working on are called my Jack socks. They are yarn from Sew Into Knitting. That is unsurprisingly based off of, inspired by that Nightmare Before Christmas movie that I love so much. Because Halloween socks. I feel like my goal in life should be just to have nothing but Halloween socks.
365 Halloween socks.
365 days of Halloween socks. Won't happen. That's crazy. I like Christmas socks too. Hey, I was wearing, before I put on socks that weren't ankle socks, I was wearing little nursing ankle socks. So the little syringes and medicine boxes and little socks with penguins on them. Guys, I like nifty socks.
Nifty socks are great.
Nifty socks are great. So, that is the last thing I was working on. Thankfully, not this week, but next Tuesday. Though maybe what I'll do is make that my goal, because I did really well with the heel, having that done by Monday. That sort of pushed me to keep working on it. to be able to work on this sweater.
Yeah.
So I'd want to have everything done and wrapped up and my yarn weighed out so I can just go and do work on the body while I'm there.
That makes sense.
Ooh. When then I can work on something that isn't a sock and get even more compliments because I'll have a sweater falling off my needles. We'll see how that works. I don't know, that worked really well. It just sort of, because then it's just roundy knitting, which I don't need to look at. Which apparently I'm going to start teaching classes on how to show people how to roundy knit and how to make things easier visually for them.
How to knit without looking?
How to knit without looking and how to be kind to your eyes.
Those are all very important things.
I think so. So we'll see how that goes. Alright. That's it. I'm out of knitting projects now because I can't for the life of me find that freaking ball of yarn to finish that dwell cardigan.
We moved furniture before this. We still can't find it.
Still can't find it. It's too big to fit under my bed. It's too big to fit under my bed. The thing's like this big. It will not fit under my bed. Maybe under the dressers? I don't know.
It's gotta be under something.
It's gotta be under something. I just don't know. And I have pulled apart my sewing room and put it back together twice now. I don't know. I gotta find it.
Okay.
Want to talk about your more fun project? Oh man, I gotta start picking up speed.
So in the theme of sweaters, I'm working on a sweater. This is upside down relative to how it looks. Okay, there, I'm working on a sweater. There's the top neck part of the sweater. Yay!
That's okay. Last week we sat in the opposite spots at your place. Threw me off the whole time I was editing. Like I am in the wrong location.
You know what? I didn't even notice.
Fine, don't watch our podcast. Do all this work. No, it's okay.
So this is the flax as opposed to the flax light. Knit in the medium large adult size. What else do I want to say about? Oh yes, the yarn is by the yarn is from Dye For You. The gray part that I'm doing my collar and cuffs and hem in. This is charcoal. It's a nice heathered dark gray color. And then this like 4 rounds of orangey color is pumpkin spice, which I got a nice custom order of. Look at that pumpkin spice. It's nice orangey, yellowy.
Did you remember to change your needles this time?
I did.
Oh, good.
Okay, so
we've had some trauma.
I've had some struggles with this sweater.
I think it just might be us and flaxes.
Maybe
it might just be us and the flax.
So a long time ago, I had actually cast this on.
I'm trying to see. Ooh, I like that color.
Yeah. Oh. Long time ago, like over a year ago, I'd cast this on. I think shortly after I bought the yarn, I cast it on.
Yes, which was 2 years ago, Manitoba Fiber Festival.
Yeah, I have a picture of me wearing the collar that I had completed while I was at a conference in the city that happens in November.
Yes.
So November 2 years ago. I had a collar.
Was that the one you did down at the U of W that I came to?
No.
Okay, that was a different one?
Yeah, no, this is one where I was just attending.
Okay.
It was a security conference.
Okay. I keep waiting for that call. I'll go to more accessibility tech conferences with you.
Yeah. As soon as I figure out when they're happening.
Cool beans. I answered a lot of not dumb questions that day. It was really kind of nice.
No, it was fun. I definitely would like to do more of that. More of the public speaking thing.
Absolutely.
Got some stuff I want to do at work before I go. Yeah. Public speaking wise.
If you need to borrow a blind person, let me know.
Don't think I need a blind person.
I don't know.
Just thinking about what I want to talk about.
That's fair. You were talking about your sweater.
Yeah, I was talking about a sweater. Totally derailed. Jeez. Don't give you coffee.
Nope.
8 o'clock at night and then don't give me coffee.
Really should.
Right, all the things that have gone wrong with the sweater. So for some reason, I didn't like that collar. I think I cast it on in the pumpkin spice and then decided I wanted the collar to be contrasty too.
Yeah.
And so I pulled that out and then I didn't start it again. And then so this time I did the collar again and the collar's great. I did the tubular cast on and it's beautiful and perfect. I did it in the right size needles. I remembered to switch the needles at the bottom of the collar, doing the increase round, except I had thought for some reason that I wanted to keep doing the gray for one more round because it would make the color change cleaner, which was foolish of me because then when I started doing the next round, where the garter stitch on the sleeves happens, I had that little pearl side color change thing going on,
Ooh, yeah, that'd be weird.
which I did not like, but I
No.
persevered doing the entire round anyway, and I did not like it. And then, so I just kind of stared at it, and I hadn't done my increases quite right the first time. I had the right number of increases, but they weren't evenly spaced. The math for doing 24 stitches, increasing 24 stitches evenly around 90 stitches, just
It's
about
not-
broke my brain.
it's
It took
not
me
easy.
3 days to get the math right. And I'm a computer scientist. It took me 3 days to get that math right. It's complicated math. Now that I figured out the formula for it, though, I almost feel like I should write a blog post.
You should.
So
People might find it handy.
we might have a blog post going up on Northern Knits podcast.
Hey, throw it on Patreon first, and then move it over.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay.
Perks.
Perks.
And then they can hear from somebody who isn't just me.
End result being, I have knit the collar and ripped it out, knit the collar and 2 more rows, unknit those 2 rows, reknit those 2 rows. Oh, the other thing that kept throwing me off is I'm listening to a book about math right now. Guess how many numbers they talk about while I'm trying to count?
A lot. It's math.
So freaking many numbers. And then, so I turned that off, and then I was trying to watch Star Trek, and you know how many numbers they say in sci-fi shows?
A lot.
A lot. That
'Cause
wasn't
math.
helping either.
Because science and math.
So don't try to count while listening to books about numbers or sci-fi TV shows. It doesn't work.
No, it really doesn't.
I've been knitting on this a lot this week, and this is all I have to show for it because I've been unknitting about as much as I've been knitting. But there's my beginning of my flax. It's beautiful. I'm using these cute little, I can turn this right way up so they show up. I've got these laser cut dice stitch markers. So I've got a D6. This one's got my D8
we
over
got those
here.
from Black Cat Fibers. When we were in Knit City, didn't we?
Yeah. Got the D4 on this side.
That was the group that had the Mayor and Titty City colorway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love their Sailor Scout colorways. I want to order the Sailor Scout colorways so bad.
I have a full polyhedral set of dice stitch markers, but I only need 3 right now.
Which is like Sailor Moon inspired pie shawl.
That'd be cool.
I did though. And Sailor Moon themed variegated yarn.
Can I get this over my head?
So want to do that.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
More things in my head than I got time to knit, people.
de-magic loop this, and I'm gonna
De-magic loop it.
de-magic loop it.
So you can put it on?
Yeah. Because this wire is not long enough. I'm gonna have to get out another set of needles and be knitting this on 2 sets of circulars because I do not have a string that's long enough. Okay, you know what? This needs to get out of here. Anyway, there we go.
Bit of drama going on there over
A
there.
little bit of drama. But look at that. Look at that sweater.
You mean that
It's a sweater.
necklace cuff.
It's a sweater.
It's a necklace cuff.
It's a sweater.
It's a necklace
It's a
cuff.
sweater. Anyway. There's the beginning of my
It's a
sweater.
choker.
The beginning of a sweater. Can't deny it's the beginning of a
It
sweater.
is the beginning of a sweater. It is not in and of itself a
No,
sweater.
it's really not.
You would not be comfortable walking around in that in public calling it a sweater as a finished object.
It's totally a sweater. Oh gosh, it's so warm. Okay. So that's what I've been knitting and unknitting and reknitting and tinking and knitting and tinking and knitting. And I think I finally got it right this time.
Moral of the story, just follow the instructions.
Follow the instructions, read them
you'll be
carefully,
fine.
highlight your numbers, and don't listen to a math book while you're trying to count.
You'll be fine.
Okay, I'm going to take this
The
off
only
without
reason I
popping all the
split and
stitches
do
off.
mine flat is because I'm really bad for picking up and putting things down and not remembering exactly where I am.
Okay.
Which is super okay by me. Because I don't mind purling. It's not my favorite, but I'll do it. It's fine. I'm literally a couple stitches and then I actually have to put this down until I can sit down and stare at the instructions for a bit to make sure that I connect them correctly. And I do this right. And pull out my waist yarn to put shoulders, seams on waist yarn and stuff.
I think that's all the knitting, yes?
That's all the knitting.
Okay. I have spinning.
I do not have spinning this week.
A long time, no, not that long ago, a couple months ago, I had technically finished a spinning project, but I never bothered to wind it off the bobbin, so I wound it off and skeined it. So this is Storm in the Castle from Hillary's Magic Yarnorium. This is my second ever spinning project, and it came out as a somewhat thick, thin, I'm going to call it DK overall on average. It gets down to sort of a heavy fingering and up to sort of a worsted, but I think it averages out to about a DK. I'm going to hold that up real close because it's this lightly variegated, if I hold this up so it covers our faces. There we go, now we've focused.
I've slid out of facial focus. How do I get near you? You might be Journey. No, it's fine.
I don't blame you.
In
Probably am.
over 5 years of friendship, you have yet to ever give me a cold.
Your immune system is better than mine. Well, I guess you're not surrounded by like a dozen sick people all the time.
No. My general contamination is limited to my family members on a regular basis.
This came out as a lightly variegated gray-white. The roving initially had little licheny colors of yellow and green. Those have been largely lost. You can not see it at all on camera. In person, you can sort of see it a tiny bit.
If you stare at it right under the right light and the right angle.
It looks slightly more yellow right there.
Yeah, but you'd have to be looking at it at the right angle with like one eyeball
So
closed.
it's gray-white. Anyway, I think this is destined to become an Endless Summer Adventures shawl by this lovely designer right here.
That'd be me!
So I think that's what it's going to become, because that was a one-skein wonder.
It is a one-skein wonder.
I don't think I'll give mine tassels, though, because I don't think this would tassel very well.
No, that would not tassel well. But it doesn't have to be tasseled. If you don't like tassels, don't tassel.
So I think that's what this is destined to be, because I think this is actually going to, unlike my first spinning project, which is just going to sit there and look pretty perpetually, because I'm not confident that it would actually hold together if I tried to knit something with it. This, I'm wholly confident that it will hold together when I try to knit something with it, so I'm going to try to knit something with it.
Yeah, use 6mm, because you want it nice and airy.
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember you're like, oh, I should buy that pattern, and I just kind of looked at you and was like, or you could just ask the designer, who you drive everywhere. I'm sure she'll just give you the pattern, and then I just proceeded to give her a printed copy of the pattern. Here you go.
I cleaned up my desk and I found it again. I'm like, I should wind off that yarn.
I'm glad my patterns are inspiring you to finish your spinning projects.
Also, I bought yet more fiber, so I needed a bobbin to spin on.
See, that makes way more sense in my brain.
Part of cleaning up my desk was putting away all of the fiber that I pulled out that one time for the... I think we were doing a Patreon hangout, and I pulled out every bit of fiber I owned.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. And I never put it back. It was just all sitting on my desk. So I put it all back. Yeah.
I wonder where her bingo challenge went from last year.
I found that too.
Somewhere on her desk.
I found it.
Alright, it just occurred to me once I'm done Isabella's sweater, I can knock off a finished FO and a gift knit. It's a 2-for-1 square.
Ooh.
2 squares for 1 project. Super
Never actually drew out my bingo sheet. I made the list of stuff. I have like a rough draft of a bingo sheet.
Such a lack of commitment going on
I
here.
know. I didn't commit. I didn't put it in a grid, so it's not real.
God. Jeez. Hey, I've got the 4 skeins I need to make I call it the snowflake pattern. That's not what it's called. It's by Stephen West. It was his MCAL last year.
Starflake.
Thank you. I like calling it a snowflake pattern. It's not the right wordage. Call it starflake, because that is what it is. Ugh. So I'm going to make it, and it's going to be a raspberry chaos because of the colors. Because one colorway is called chaos, and the other one's raspberry.
I like
It's
it.
going to be my raspberry chaos shawl. And it's Stephen West, so it's going to be huge.
I feel like that will be an apt name for it.
Well, I figured that'll be what I work on while I'm out visiting Mom in the spring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because then I can just sit down and we can just work on it, and it's fine. When I'm not dragging my mom out to go do things. Background noise brought to you by housemates. Housemates, making my life interesting and always having a spare half a cup of milk so I can make pancakes in the middle of the week for me. Since I don't know how long I've been living with them. So I wanted pancakes the other day, and I don't cook with eggs, and I don't always keep milk. So like if I'm out of milk for a couple of days, it doesn't bother me. But I really wanted pancakes, so I went upstairs to my sister and was like, can I steal 2 eggs and half a cup of milk? She's like, usually you just want to steal eggs. I'm like, yeah, well, that's because once every 6 months I make pancakes and I need 2 eggs. Otherwise I don't bake with a lot of things that require eggs.
That's fair.
I have a baker for a sibling who's my housemate. I just go upstairs with the recipe and go make. And she goes, okay. Because I have the ingredients but milk and eggs, so it's fine by her. If I want blondies, I know better. I have to fund for the whole house. That's a lot of butter.
But those blondies are good.
She doesn't make less than 4 batches, and I only see half a batch. That tells you how well blondies go over in this house.
I think I've had one ever. They've been baked many times when I've been over, but I've gotten to eat one.
Yeah, well, that's one of those, if you don't take it right then, there is no coming back for it later. That's not how it works in this house.
It was really good.
There's a reason why you don't come back to those later. You just
Yeah.
sit down and stop what you're doing and eat them.
Yeah.
Because they do not last. That's okay. It's like me and those pumpkin cookies, which I now make. We have an in-life, real person friend knit club. Whenever Missy offers to bring something, I always vote the vegan pumpkin cookie.
Those are good cookies, I have to say.
I will hoard those cookies. They're my favorite. Oh, but it's like the Christmas one. I think we're at the point now, if I didn't bring fudge, I'd be in trouble. You guys ate a lot of fudge that night.
Fudge is delicious.
That was also the night I got the surprise cranberry raspberry ginger ale in my backpack when I got home. Woohoo! That was fun. I love my little cactus thingy. So
I
cute.
put my little cactus on my coffee table because it doesn't care that there's no light in my living room.
It really doesn't.
All my
Considering
other
knitted.
plants are very upset that there's no light in my living room, so I've had to put them in the back bedroom because it's the only south-facing window in my apartment.
Yeah. Yeah,
But a crochet cactus doesn't care if there's no light in my living room.
It doesn't care at all. Guess it's suppose it means we gotta knit and crochet you plants, hey?
Maybe.
Maybe.
That's about the only thing I can keep alive.
That's fair. Alright. That was spinning. What are we on to now?
Yarn on the go, technically, but I think we kind of already talked about it.
We discussed the dentist appointment. I have a wonderful dentist. He's a very kind, very patient man.
Yeah, I had far less interesting yarn on the goes. Less panicky, maybe. I just went out and visited my parents.
So bad.
Went out to the
poor boy.
Went out to the Wall of Stone, visited the parents.
Wall of Stone?
The Wall of the Stone.
Wall of the Stone?
Yeah.
It's this thing right here where I flip words. I go to the mart known as the Wall. It's Walmart. It's a habit my sister and I picked up because we used to read cream soda on the French side, and it says soda cream. So for years we'd ask Mom for soda cream. Nobody knew what we were talking about. I have to pay attention because in my brain I say soda cream, and I have to actually flip it to request a cream soda.
I mean, how often are you really requesting cream soda?
Not that often, because unless I'm buying Stewart's cream soda, I don't really drink it anymore. But, you know, I can stand at the end of the pop aisle and tell my mom I want a soda cream. She knows what I want. My dad, not always.
That's the thing with families, you end up with your own mini dialect of
You really
the
do.
language.
Yeah, we'll hear Mom, the thingamabob with the whatchamacallit. I'm like, hey, the vacuum's not working. You just sort of know. She waves things at me now and goes, ah! Yeah, I'll fix it for you. Is the app giving you trouble? Stop smacking your screen.
I know my family have like a whole dictionary of made up words and I can't think of a single one right now.
I have the specialized hole poking device. Kind of infamous for that one. I forgot what a fork was called, so I made up a word. Whatever. My mother knew what I wanted. It was fine. Yeah. It's just how my life works. I come out in the morning and I'm spending time with Mom if she's trying a new multivitamin. I come out and I go, your drug dealer's here. There was a while where I was taking an antihistamine that was an herbal organic. So I took it a couple of times a day. So you would actually see me walking around the city and then all of a sudden I just pop out and pop a couple white tabs in my face. My mom's like, you look like a crack addict. I'm like, thanks, Mom.
Love you too.
Love you too. We're also known for walk often. It's when we trip. You've heard me say it.
Yep.
Douglas, walk often. So I've tripped over something. Go forth and charge. That's something my dad says. My dad is also the grandpa who stands in the aisles at Walmart in Christmas and ho ho ho's like Santa. And then you can hear kids a couple aisles go going, Santa! And you can hear parents going, so you gotta be good, Santa's everywhere.
I totally see your dad doing that and having a great time.
Dad does that. And of course, Mimi and my mom and my niece will be all over up the front of the aisle. We just go, oh, Father. I mean, she says husband and my niece says papa, but I usually go back and go, you helping the big man out? And he's like, yep, okay. Good job. All right. Books? What are we at? I'm caffeinated. It's after 8. You got to keep me focused. I'm like a small child.
Oh gosh. We're on to Wool Gathering.
Well, that's easy. It's the same 2 it always is.
Yep.
Right now.
Next Patreon hangout is going to be on February the 22nd at noon Central Standard Time. Patreon is a way of supporting us financially if that is a thing that you can and want to do. And if you support us, then you can hang out with us on Google Hangouts for a couple of hours on the second last Saturday
of every month.
Yeah.
There's also video posts that YouTube doesn't get, and I occasionally write blog posts. And I try to, if you message us, we can talk back and forth because it's a bit more of a. There aren't as many of you on Patreon as there are on YouTube, so it's easier to have a conversation and keep up with it. It also lets us once a month see what you guys are working on, which is pretty freaking cool.
It's always fun. I enjoy that.
Such a delight. And there's always a Jocelyn rant.
Yes.
Always a Jocelyn rant about something. Always. Always. I have to be less ranty in my life, I think. If you can't, it's fine. Not everybody can, and that's super understandable. If you can leave a comment below the YouTube videos, if you can like, if you can share, if you subscribe, that is also equally as helpful. I don't know if people post comments and replies to the audio side because that is solely in Diana's purview.
It's not really a good way of doing comments on the audio because you can't really comment on like Spotify or iTunes or whatever.
Like a lot of them, they let you rate them.
Yeah.
So you could do ratings. That would be
You could
sweet.
rate us. That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
That's always fun to watch those. Even the negative ones, it's fine. If it's constructive criticism, it's constructive criticism.
Yeah.
We're not for everybody. That's okay.
Yeah.
The other big thing we got going on right now is the podcast anniversary. We're celebrating 3 years of this craziness. That number keeps increasing and Diana still doesn't believe it.
I'm slowly coming to terms with 3. I'll come to terms with 3
when we start the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly how that's going to work. For this year's podcast anniversary Knit Along, which is where we invite you guys to join us, and we're all going to make something. It's a big group of friends, and have a brand new shiny thing to celebrate 3 years of babbling at the internet. We're all making sweaters. Sweaters! Any sweater pattern by Tin Can Knits counts, so long as it's an adult size. Just sort of, we had to draw the line somewhere. That's the rule. That's it. So long as you're less than 50% done on the 1st of January and you're done by the end of March, there are threads. And in fact, we finally have a moderator. So you'll actually get a consistent reply. We are no longer relying on my faulty vision or Diana's busy schedule to allow us to do this.
Yay, moderators! Praise to the moderators.
Oh man. So much love and so many thanks. Can't even. I need to fly to Norway to hug you is what I need to do. Just need to come, visit, hug you, babble at you a bunch, and bring some Canadian things. My cat eats nut cheese. She ate the nut cheese.
Is that related?
Nope, not even remotely. My brain went to hugging to Canada things till I tried nut cheese today, till my cat liked nut cheese. That sort of came out my mouth. Everybody tuned in for a stream of conscious, right?
Alright.
This is why people think I need a Twitch stream. It's the whole way through. I'm either talking to my cat or talking to a friend or I'm talking back at a podcast. When I'm video gaming, my sister knows the moment she comes downstairs because I am talking at the screen. I'm yelling at myself. I'm very verbally animated. Could be fun. I don't know. I'm quiet when I'm knitting because I'm listening to a book. Does that count? Maybe, maybe not. So, you have till the end of March. We have threads on Ravelry. We are doing e-gifts this year, which means they will be terribly random. I have been putting them off to start them a little bit later to give everybody a chance to update their wish list. Holy Hannah, we did a little video clip on updating your wish list on Ravelry for you guys in episode 144? 45?
Oh, I don't think it was quite that far back.
46?
Did I...
Don't know if you made show notes about it. One of the previous episodes. If you guys
We
want
can
that
love
to
a
be
bit.
separate, which is a question I have for you guys, did you want me to record little video things of how I've got Ravelry and stuff set up for organization?
Probably not a terrible idea.
Because I'll do them. I'll just put them as a separate video series. You generally won't see me. You'll see the computer screen. It'll be a touch slow, which is not really a big problem. It gives everybody more time and stuff because I turn off my screen reader, which is the other question. If I do them, would you like me to leave him on? Because he talks the whole time.
Oh, screen readers talk so much.
Yep. I'll slow him down so he's normal speed because sometimes when I gotta get through a lot of information, he's a little chipmunky. Just a touch.
Screen readers.
I generally turn them off, which makes my progress around the screen a little bit slower, but I wouldn't have a problem doing that with you guys and sort of helping you walk through if you've got questions about those things. Because it's a great database, but it's a lot of information. So like piecemealing that down into sort of more bite-sized chunks might be approachable. So we're going to be doing gifts via your guys' wish lists. I did do a show to show you guys how to add things and take things off your wish list, updated mine, and then immediately proceeded to get a gift, which was not the point of the video. Super stoked to do the campsite card. So stoked I frogged a project I wasn't going to finish anyway to get the yarn to do it. Super excited. Was not what I was expecting, so I was very confused when I woke up the next morning and I had a gift in my basket. I was like, hey, Diana bought me something. Cool. No, that's not Diana.
Nope. I got a gift also. I am delighted to be knitting a lacy maple leaf shawl at some point when I get red lace yarn that I didn't manage to get yet.
Well, it's because I didn't have the right color. We should talk to Daria.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure she can make this.
So we've done that. We've decided what the grand prize is going to be for the end. It's still an e-prize. But we've decided that and how we're going to work it, which means we don't have to worry about the mail system being crazy. I've just taken that out of the equation entirely.
Oh, gosh.
So we will start doing
So
those
much trouble.
prizes, yeah. But again, for the ones that I'm going to do for the chatter thread, there's going to be no warning. It'll just show up if you have a wish list. And if I pull your name and you don't have a wish list, I'll just pull a different name. And I keep handing out warnings, and I've been handing them out since December. And now we're at the end of January. You're out of time for warnings, people. Time for me to spend some Patreon money and buy people patterns. What? Seems like the nice thing to do.
Yes. No, I was laughing at your song.
Do you see me with my niece all the time? Probably not. We'll be going places and I'll be like, vegetables.
I believe it.
I totally do.
I also believe that she goes,
Every time.
embarrassing.
Such a teenager. Such a teenager. I love her to bits. Alright, we have books now?
We have books now, literature.
Cool beans. I read a lot.
Yeah, you did. I almost didn't leave enough space for all your books. Here I thought I was leaving lots of lines.
Well, I finished romance books, and they're short little romance books. So I finished, like, Lord of the Vampires, Lord of Rage, and Lord of the Wolfen, which are 3 books in a 4-book series called the Royal House series.
That's what you told me earlier.
Yes. The first book's written by Gina Showalter, but the other 3 books are written by different romance novel authors. So it's a story about 4 siblings, written from each of the siblings as a different author. So the styles are slightly different for each one.
Oh, neat.
Set in the sort of same world, which is always really cool. I like it when they do that. So I've been thoroughly enjoying those on Audible, which is weird because I try not to listen to them without headphones on when the niece is home because she still thinks boys who hold hands with her are gross and Cody-like. So that's the stage we're at. But I needed something to balance out How Dare the Sunrise by Sandra, I'm going to say O because I cannot pronounce her last name. It sounds gorgeous when she says it. I would butcher that thing so bad. It is the How Dare the Sunrise is a young adult nonfiction memoirs of a war child.
I read the synopsis on Goodreads. It's too heavy for me. I can't handle that.
It is quite heavy. She has an amazing sense of pace and balance for the heavy with some lightheartedness. She's got this beautiful balance going on. It's still a fairly heavy book. Having said that, yes, like read that. Get those perspectives that are life sort of things that you really A, would never wish on anybody, period, and B, just sort of help grow your perspective as a person. So it was just so well done. I think I gave it like 5 stars out of 5 on Goodreads. Like such a good way to help us be less isolated and me-centric in our thinking.
I I should probably read something like that. I don't
Now,
think I can handle quite that much, but something like that.
I did it on Audible, so I had her reading to me, which was gorgeous because she obviously can nail her own accents from her own language.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get to, and it's beautiful musical, lyrical voice, and I was just like, yeah. And there's super deep content. Like, oh, okay, I needed something lighthearted and fluffy, so I read some romance novels. That helped. So I usually read lighthearted, fluffy stuff. That's what I like. And then those are ones I finished. So I've started book 4 in the series. No, book 3, Lord of the Wolf, and I've got another chapter to do, and then I gotta start book 4, and then I'm done that series. And then I just started The Idiot. And I will have to get you the author's name because I don't remember.
Okay.
But that's another one that's just sort of a way out there fiction novel. But again, I'm just trying to expand my horizons and read different stuff. So I'm doing that one. What else did I give you? I was looking at my book stuff when I told you the book stuff.
The Expanse.
Oh, yes, because I finished the one I was reading last week, which was Babylon's Ashes.
I don't know.
I think it was Babylon's Ashes.
Could be.
Yes, because I'm on to Per something or other Rising.
Persepolis Rising.
Yes. So Babylon's Ashes, that was going to be my counterbalance to How Dare the Sunrise. So super deep war memoirs book to super deep, the humanities science fiction book. Probably not my best choice.
Yeah, no.
I should have balanced out the How Dare the Sunrise with the romance novels.
Yeah.
Probably. Whatever. Live and learn. I have been writing reviews for each of the series because you guys remember I read them late last year, but I didn't review them. So this year I'm taking the thing to review them. So I've been re-listening to them to make sure I get the right plot points in the right book so I know what I'm talking about each book. Because I do a first chunk that's spoiler free and then I go, listen, spoilers. I did spoilers underneath. That way you can decide if you want spoilers or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Those are my books.
All right. I have 2 books. The math book that kept throwing off my counting because, hey, guess what? Math books have lots of numbers in them. Is Humble Pie by Matt Parker.
Okay.
And it's all about how math goes wrong in the real world. It
Math
was
goes wrong in the real world.
Just released this week, but he's been hyping it for pre-orders for months, as one does with one's own book. Anyway, it's on Audible, read by Matt Parker. He's got a YouTube channel called Stand Up Maths. Maths, because he's Australian.
That's fine.
Anyway, I love listening to people talk about what they're passionate about. Even if I do not care about the thing, I care because they care. And this is one of those things. He's super into math and just like weird edge cases and weird math stuff and the beauty of geometry and spreadsheets. Oh, don't get him started on spreadsheets.
I'd have to listen to him.
Oh, it's pretty great.
Well, I love ologies, and that's all about people who are super passionate about really specific things. I have no interest in toads whatsoever. I think I listened to that toad episode twice.
Yeah. So I've got like 8 or 9 hours of Matt Parker being excited about math. So
that could be really good.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's not like high-level math either. It's like somebody entered the data wrong and the stock market crashed. It's like
in
very...
March. I'm going to have to do that in March.
It's very approachable.
I'm pretty busy till March.
Anyway, so that's Humble Pie. Pi is in the symbol P-I. I highly recommend it. I've been really, really enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be good. Well, I mean, you took my Consider the Fork. It was not a recommendation. It was a do it now.
Yes.
Instruction.
Absolutely. Yes, that still remains a recommendation.
Okay.
The other book that I apparently started and finished this week, because we didn't talk about it last week, which means I hadn't started it, is The Crook and Flail, which is the second book in a series about ancient Egypt.
Ooh.
So it's historical fiction,
That can be
probably more on the fiction than the historical.
Usually.
Yeah. So the story overall in the series is about Hatshepsut, she was a female pharaoh, and she really did exist, and she really was badass and awesome. So the first book was all about her mother and kind of like all the setup backstory, and then the second book, it was about Hatshepsut and how she became the pharaoh. And then it just like ends like, I'm the pharaoh now, and I'm like,
Through book 3?
yeah, there's more. So it's
Spoilers, I know what happens to her, historically speaking.
historically speaking, yeah.
Well, besides dead. Like, we get that.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so like, it's historical, so you kind of know where it's gonna happen. I'm sure all the romance stuff is like just extra wedged in there just for fluff. It's entertaining. Mostly I really enjoy them because they're court dramas. I really love a good court drama. The more petty and dramatic, the better. I don't like high school dramas or like modern dramas or like, I cannot stand that.
Okay. Maybe I'll get it.
But like a historical fantasy court drama, love it. I think I finally figured out why I love a court drama.
Okay.
It is because the author assumes that you don't know about all the court etiquette and the social cues. And
so they tell you?
Yeah, so they tell you everything in great detail.
I really like that about a lot of historical fiction and a lot of fantasy fiction. They're like, hey, wait. We're going to give you this primer because you're going to need it. You're like, thank you. I did.
So, and like some of that is just so you can imagine the scene and the costumes and the everything, which is cool. But what I really, really love about it is because I'm really bad at picking up on like social cues and social situations in real life. And so having it described to me in very great detail in a book is very instructive. So that I can go, oh, hey, this matches this other situation that I was actually in. And this still applies. This fictional book is teaching me things about real life.
Books helping us learn since you learned how to read.
Yeah. So that's what I like about a court drama. It took me like a decade to figure that out.
That's fine.
Came to that realization this week.
That's fine. It's not the end of the world. I don't think that's a bad thing. Books are tasty. I'm trying to figure out how to magically add that book to my Goodreads list while we record on my phone. I can't. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. If you think the books are of high volume, guys, Canada reads the shortlist for the CBC production that happens in March. So it's a week-long hot air balloon debate where 5 different celebrities back, well, 5 Canadian celebrities back 5 Canadian authored books, and they see who's the last man standing at the end of the week. I have, so far for several years, managed to read the entire shortlist before the hot air balloon debate, which means I can actively participate and, like, I understand what's going on because I read all the books. I now have the shortlist in my hands. I gotta start the books because February is not a long month, and there's 5 books. And
yes.
I have never once ever had them not be deep books. They'll cover some fairly serious content. So, and this year's no different. And then Tome Topple starts on the 7th of February. And Tome Topple's my favorite readathon. That's right, I'll pick favorites. That's because the only rules to the Tome Topple is it has to be over 500 pages.
That's easy enough.
The point is to topple a tome.
What's the timeline on that?
2 weeks. Starting
Okay.
on the 7th. Because there are books over 500 pages. Now, the lady who's running it is going to do The Wayfarer King. His first book, The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson.
Uh-huh.
That's 1,000+ pages. That's the one where I was like, hey, it's 44 hours. Audible. It's the first one of those.
Wow.
Like, now that's a goal. That is some serious goalage. But what I think I need to do is I need to sit down, and you're going to hear why, because this is going to actually link back to things that because I love me a weird challenge. I need to sit down with the Canada Read shortlist to figure out if any of those books are over 500 pages and put them into read during the Tome Topple Readathon, because she did a bingo challenge card this year for props.
Oh my gosh.
I can't. I'm literally doing a knitting bingo challenge card for the year. How can I not do book bingo challenge cards? How can I not?
Gotta do it.
I gotta do it. Also, if you get 7 to 9 squares, you're a sage reading level.
Ooh.
So I feel like, that's gonna happen. So it's gonna get a little intense in February, guys. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Read more books. I already warned my mom. I was like, listen, I set aside to pick up 3 extra credits on Audible this month. My mom's like, do you want me to participate and give you 3 additional ones? I'm like, I think I might go through 6.
Ooh.
She's like, that's fair. What's happening this month? So I told her. She's like, oh, well, some of those you're doing. I'm like, yeah, but a lot of them are going to have to be, like, audibly formatted. She's like, yes, you can't read books back to back to back to back that are 500 pages anymore. I'm like, no, I'm not a teenager. My vision isn't that good anymore.
Sleep is a good thing.
Yes, because, boy, did I ever do all-night reading sessions for no particular reason as a teenager. I was super cool, guys. But That's upcoming. So if you've ever wanted to know what the Canada shortlist is, you're going to find out soon.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's everything.
Huh, cool. In which case, I will say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you,
Don't forget to knit. You can have your phone back to add things to Goodreads.
I gotta add things to Goodreads already. How did this? I'm not even listening to a thingy.